When I was young, I used to have a really positive mental identification with the internet. And when I was young, when I say young, I mean really young. And when I say the internet, I mean it in like the broadest possible way. It's like the internet just the whole thing. Like I remember finding just the kinds of things that everyone my age was finding like when I was really young, like 9 or 10 years old. I forget exactly when this was really popular, but there were those there were the videos of the guy with the high voice. His name was Fred, and I remember watching those videos and I remember going on YouTube. I think one of the first things I really got into doing on the internet was I would ask my dad to use his computer and I would go on Google Images and I would search aliens. I would just like put in aliens and I would just look at pictures of them. Um, and then I remember finding out like from these other things that like there was this kind of like the idea when I was a kid of like a homegrown internet culture was really exciting to me because I I don't know exactly why. I mean, I think that's just kind of how it was sold to us. When you look back, there was a lot kind of propagating it in a lot of other places. I think like people really it's kind of like the leftovers of this really weird, almost pre-internet idea of what the internet was going to look like that kind of fucked with people's ability to really process what was going on or something. I think because I look back and it's kind of weird how much things were being made about the internet at the time that I was growing up with it. Like I think about something like the show iCarly, which is just one of these slapdash sitcoms that they made for kids, but every kid watched it. Like at my school, it was just like it was really popular, and it was just about exactly that. It was about like the internet, but it was like this it wasn't really about the internet. It was kind of like, obviously it was what Nickelodeon executives imagined the internet was kind of like. But then it was also kind of like just this image of something that people wanted it to be, which was like what people wanted it to be was this place where you find all of your friends, or I don't know, you feel like you really belong there. I really I really bought into that in a way that affected me for a long time, I think. And it's not just because of iCarly, I'm not saying iCarly did this to me. Fuck iCarly. We should sue iCarly because of this lie that they sold us. But I mean, just like everything. I feel like everything was selling you this. Everything was selling this idea. And it's not, of course, it's not entirely, it's not a lie, you know? Because I actually did meet a lot of people who, I mean, it's kind of crazy how many of my friends are directly from the internet. It's kind of almost like scary to think about, but I think I used to just have this really positive, like, this almost a kind of like utopian vision of what the internet was doing, like the work that it was doing. Like, I kind of imagined that it was just, it's like this big index of people, basically. And the idea was that, to me, like the practical way that I thought about it was like you go on there, and if you just stay on there long enough and you kind of filter out people from the index, you get to a place where you have found a group of people who are much more like you than you would have been able to find in the place where you're growing up, where, it's just the people at your high school or whatever. There's not much selection that you're doing, other than just like choosing who to talk to, uh, in the places that you're kind of forced to be. Whereas the internet, to me, I thought of it when I was really young as like, this is a way to kind of escape my stupid suburb that I hate and find actually like something interesting, something more interesting going on. And so it was really romanticized in my head. And again, I had this, there was like an identity of like an internet person. And it was a really positive identity. It was like it wasn't just like lack of, like, oh, I'm an internet person because I'm like not a social person or something like that. It's like, no, it was like being an internet person is like better in some way. I had it since I was really young. Since I was really young. And it kind of carried on like that for a long time in different ways, although I didn't, at different times I kind of morphed into other things, and I wasn't exactly thinking about it in that same way, but it kind of, that there was like some kind of core of it that stayed. And really in the past like 5 or so years, it has really, really worn down to nothing for me. Like, that identification that I used to have, I've become more aware of it as just like this kind of mostly fantasy. Because I don't know, I go on there, I look at this place that I once had such a loving view of, and I just go in there and now, and it's like, I don't know, it's like it feels so embarrassing to me sometimes to think that, like, the amount of um kind of admiration I had for a lot of those people on there. I mean, I like, I mean, I'm not saying that I hate them again. I don't hate everyone on the internet now or something like that. That's not what I'm saying. But the feeling that I got when I was on there is just like so not there anymore. It's so not there anymore. And that's why, like, one of the first videos I made for this channel, I was talking about YouTube, about how, like, I still get a good feeling when because YouTube is great at, like, finding interesting things. It's like a really nice vehicle for that. Finding interesting things that people make. I still think it really works as that. But, like, so much of this other image of what the internet was going to be, or what it was even, has really collapsed for me. And it's embarrassing to think about how enthralled I was with this idea. Because the internet really, it doesn't quite work like that. It doesn't quite work like this is an index of people and you just kind of whittle it down to the people who are most like you. Sometimes it works like that. I mean, sometimes there are certain, like, I mean, sometimes you just kind of find people who are like you for different reasons because you like the same things or whatever. It's like that definitely happens. But I think more so, and especially now, what it does is actually, it's like that you're not doing as much of the work as you think you are, as it like kind of wants you to think that you're doing. Like most of the work is actually being done from this place on you. It's the you're not transforming this environment that you're in. It's transforming you, and it really kind of goes a lot more one way than the other. It's like you have your little customizations, you have your little kind of, you choose which of the paths to follow that it provides for you. But really what's happening mostly is that you are giving yourself to something. And especially if you're young, especially if you were as young as I was when I really was into this idea, you just kind of let it take hold of you and let it tell you things, and you know you just kind of go along with it basically. I i think that's a lot more what it is, and it's not really, that's not really romantic at all. That's not really as positive a vision as I once had of it. I see it a lot. I see that image of the internet a lot more now when I go on it, because I feel like I have so little in common with so many of these people, that even the people that I like, a lot of people that I had known on the internet that I thought I was in some kind of community with or something like that. Like, I'll go on there now and I'll just see these kinds of things creep into these discussions and these places, and the things that people say, the things that people believe, and the kind of roads that they're being led down, and it's just like I feel so, at this point in my life I just feel so disconnected from it. And it's definitely that I've gotten older, but I don't think it doesn't seem false to me to kind of look at it like this now. And that old image that I had of the internet doesn't, it makes less and less sense to me, and it looks, at this point in my life, it looks so far away.